Good grief.
Shalom and good day all. Good to see you again. This is Tehillim 29 with the Super Sons Fortress of Attitude with Tevya and Comic Boom.
Woohoo!
And today we will be covering Peter J Tomasi and Patrick Gleason on
White Knight, isn't it?
Yep, Dark Knight versus White Knight, parts 1 to 3.
Yes. Originally in Batman and Robin issues 2021 to 23 or something.
Yep.
Yeah. Yes. I'm going by memory, so you guys might have to correct me on some plot points, but
No problems. I hope you got to read the additional stuff that I mentioned in the DM.
You mean as the stuff as a surprise?
Yeah.
Yep.
I've got those issues. I could show them, but I won't show them if it's a surprise. But
Yeah. Hey, good to see you. And
Tevya, how's it going, buddy?
Good. I'm doing good.
Sorry I was late, Tevya.
Yeah, it's okay. You know, we were off there talking about a bit of the other stuff.
better late than never, I guess.
Yep. So let's get the party started, shall we? We're kind of live anyway.
Absolutely love the cover for this issue.
Which issue is that? Batman? What is Batman and Robin issue 20?
Yeah. And there's just one thing about this story that's a little bit different than previous Batman stories, especially within this run on Batman and Robin.
I haven't read the issues, so I'm in the dark, so it'll catch up to speed on this one. Yeah, I bet you with FF7.
Well, everything starts off in Gotham City and the Wayne Manor.
Naturally.
Well, I'm a little bit curious. I mean, I know that the White Knight's an interesting villain.
Yes.
I'm wondering what you think is different about the story itself that is different than other stories right off the bat. Where were you going with that?
White Knight. Oh, sorry.
One thing I do like with this is basically the time of day it takes place, of which the villain appears.
Oh, in the daylight.
Yes.
Well, it is always interesting that most Batman villains always foolishly attack at night, and because Batman always seems to come out at night and he sleeps during the day, so it's sort of like trying to fight a vampire. If you're going to fight if you want to do something and not get caught by a vampire, just do it during the day. And,
do it during the day at night, because vampires like to feed, as we all know. Oh, I pointed to it this morning. I bought this game and it's awesome. Jump in for Final Fantasy. Pretty good.
Final Fantasy 6, right on.
Oh, 7. It's only 7. Yeah.
Of course, we've got our good old best boy Alfred in the scene. Yep. Hey, good to see you, Chrononaut.
Hello.
Along with the other Bat family members that are present.
Yep. So we are Tim Drake, Jim Todd, and Nightwing. Wait,
yep.
Chronologically, does it come in after the W Family 52 stuff? or did he join DCU? No, I didn't New 52. But then you had the stupid glider wings. And Scotland, though. Thanks. I'm not going to go back to glider for New 52. I just can't. Continue.
But after a little bit of things that are happening in the morning, say morning breakfast, whatever else, we get our introduction to good old Bruce Wayne. And they're planning on watching a movie.
Nice.
Ooh, what movie could that be? I wonder if
Yeah.
anyone from the audience knows.
Joel? That's all I got.
Well, I was hoping any of the audience that might be watching know, but you've already answered it for them.
Oh, oops.
Too late now. But yes, it's the Mark of Zorro. Something that connects Bruce Wayne, yes, to his past. But you know what? It's also helped be a good stepping point in his future.
Yep.
Yeah, the Mark of Zorro is yeah, it's definitely a tie into Batman's origins and formative night that led to his trauma. So it's nice that they have that Easter egg in there.
It certainly is.
I know that the White Knight villain was interesting. I like the fact that I actually like the White Knight. I like the fact that he carried around that totem and that he essentially, I like the idea that he wanted to kill the villains. I kind of like that. He's the opposite of Batman. I find it ironic that the Dark Knight is the hero who doesn't kill, but the White Knight is the villain, but yet he fights bad guys, but he will kill. Quite frankly, I think if Batman would have let White Knight do all the killing, he'd probably save more lives. It was sort of like I had that discussion yesterday with Dark Knight about the moral compass. I think that maybe if Batman took a break and let the White Knight wipe out some of the villains, it might be better for all the Gotham.
He's trying to remind me to be a Dean Target Leonard before Scott Liddell took that character and messed him up so badly to make him an anti-hero.
Yeah.
Wait, what Knight? That should have been Jason Todd. That should have been Leonard in the very beginning. Why do we get that Leonard back? Still knowing that we got that for Scott Liddell nonsense. Ugh.
Of course, we see Batman and Robin go to a bit of a crime scene. And of course, examine it. And of course, good old best boy turns up again, Alfred. Why? Because they've got an appointment tonight. Some incredible art here by Patrick Gleason. Just the work that he does on Bruce Wayne. And also of the victim that leads to the crime scene.
Yeah, I'm for the life of me, I'm trying. I can't remember how the storyline ends.
Yeah, I
know
don't
that. So you're gonna have to help us along there, TLM.
Yeah, we're kind of in the dark.
All right. Well, autopsy time. What's that? Batman has no problem maiming folks. Joker in a wheelchair would be less friendly.
Well,
It depends. Joker might choose to put a bomb under that wheelchair. It doesn't mean it'll be less friendly. And that would
Yes.
probably be his last laugh.
well,
That's that harsh reality of comic books is that the best villains can never be killed because
you gotta keep them alive, buddy.
Well, of course, Batman meets up with the commissioner. They examine at the morgue. And also how many stories the victim fell. Totaling 80. Robin is also helping. Robin helps examine the scene as well. And before you know it, Batman and Robin have disappeared. Go ahead, Comic Boom.
I was going to say, if I recall correctly, the fascination of White Knight, the character is he wants to wipe out the legacy of the supervillain. So he wants to kill them so they have no offspring. So, that's one of his motivations.
Punisher type character?
Yes.
And I just find that interesting that he wants to wipe out the legacy of the villains. And then at the end, I believe once he defeats Batman, I think, well, I don't think he's ever come back. Has he been in any future storylines?
He hasn't returned, not even in Rebirth or even DC Universe. Though I think it would be
not even
nice
looking
to see
stuff.
character return.
Yeah.
That is the only thing sort of missing.
Yeah.
Of course, we got the Arkham Knight, which we know what Peter J Tomasi did there.
We may organize action agent character
in the Detective Comics run.
Yeah, Detective Comics with all the Patrick Reason.
No, I think it was Doug Mankey.
Doug Mankey, my bad.
That worked on
also, that. I've been going to Baggage with Batman Robin online, and for what I can tell, one of the issues, this is one went into a lot of Requiem stuff with that in Batman Incorporated, and went into the 3-issue tie-in books to Requiem, which, that would have messed me up. Like, that was, when Robin was just bad. I've never get Tomasi, but that Batman Red Robin book, that team up was just awful. It did with Kelly showing them in the main continuity, and then we had the Frankenstein stuff, but that goes nowhere until Drake and Yoda, and it's a mess. Yeah. Batman Robin, when died, gets really stupid. Like, all this nonsense.
It is sad that happened, but I also came across a Twitter post from Peter J Tomasi. Is that he also had plans for a little while to do a little bit more after like Damien came back from the dead.
Yeah, I think the issues were good.
And in essence, it would still be nice to see what he would have had planned.
Yeah.
Like even if he was able to bring it into, say, Detective Comics of what he had planned. Just
I think it's playing with long powers, and personally, if I'm my way, I would have a lot of super fatty, so you can see him with John. That'd be adorable. If we can see John actually turn into basically make the teenager an imposter, and the John get trapped, basically not those three and being tortured because that's stupid. But if we were gonna trap it in a prison and still turn himself, but it keeps him not aging, then you know what? I'll be all for that because I'll be in the big game and watch kid find John, save him, and that teen John is Earth 3 John Kent. I know that always at this point, but I need to hang on something to give me out at the superpower game away, would save it fun. That's not a bad idea. But we got combine both that idea with the kidnapping.
Yep.
Make
Well,
it work.
with Batman and Robin, they return to the crime scene
Yeah.
in their good old uniforms, and they encounter Dr. Langstrom.
And that
Which is very interesting. Good old Man Bat and his appearance. Guess you'll have to stop playing with science.
well,
Of course, that ends that first issue. Connected to the first part. Moving into the second, we get some slightly disturbing images at the beginning. Of course, people dressed up in the angels, and of course, falling onto the ground after a timer finishes.
wait, what? Wait, what time is this?
You can see a timer on the first page.
Oh, a timer. Gotcha.
Yeah.
I said it's a tie-in. My
Not-
bad.
Not tie-in, timer. In other
Sorry.
words, a clock.
Well, continue.
And good old Batman and Robin come and save the day. And it's after Kirk Langstrom attacked Batman and Robin. And of course, our encounter with the White Knight in the pages. The art for this is absolutely incredible. He looks like you could almost go toe to toe to the Flash, just in appearance.
Was it Doug Mankey or was it Gleason on the art?
Gleason.
Yeah, it's kind
Just
of
the way the character looks, he looks like he could go toe to toe with the Flash.
Yep.
And yes, our White Knight is, of course, white. Electric white. I think would be the closest representation as to what you see in the story.
Yeah. I think his name is Terminus. I think that's his name. I'm not entirely sure. Could be wrong with that.
What's the White Knight real name?
I don't think we got his name in this, or did we?
Well.
It's such a short.
Yeah, and the bat symbol on his mask or his name is Terminus. One name Terminus that his name will lose your fund isn't together. I think that's him. I'm not entirely sure. Could be wrong with that.
Okay, one of the victims was Douglas Zaz, brother to Victor Zaz.
And Scarecrow too, wasn't it? Or was I?
And Scarecrow's still alive.
Yeah, he was alive. But let's not forget the character's obsession with angels.
Yep. The issues I'm looking at are quite different. I don't know what issues are, but I'll probably look it up anyway.
And some good old conversation between Damian Wayne and Bruce as they examine the evidence, especially the connection to the feathers, which we see. In one scene, we also see some of the White Knight's targets. From Langstrom's wife to the Mad Hatter.
Nice.
We don't see all of them, but yes, it looks like even Harley is in the target zone.
Nice. Wait, what is during the time in general where Harley Quinn was still part of Suicide Squad?
She probably was, but
Oh yeah.
either way, this villain also had her in the line or on their hit list.
Yeah, of course.
Of course, Scarecrow, a couple of others.
Well,
Can't make them all out, but
I'm just curious. So what's the origin of White Knight?
That's my question.
Like, I mean, what's his I guess I know what his motivation is. So I guess he wants to kill the villains, get rid of their legacy.
But why?
But yeah, why? What was his? I can't remember his formative origin.
Neither can I. I'm trying to remember back as you're trying to figure out what origin was. But I got a long record and stuff. What is? This is in the issue 40. But no, in the 40 issues. I know what that. What do you know? Yeah. Yeah, I got nothing. So tell him what would White Knight Jordan? Tell him.
I'm just looking through it now.
Yeah, I can find it. So I have no idea. So I'm going on to
He
find it.
was definitely an interesting villain, but
Yeah, I wish I could contribute, but I don't have the issues in front of me. I don't.
Yeah,
They're
I don't have issues either, so I'm in the dark. Yeah, so I don't know.
here's a quote from him. Sometimes symbols of darkness need to be eradicated to give people hope, Batman.
Yeah. So, like I said, this guy is a Punisher fused Red Hood and Jason Todd, but turned again into one character. Which again proved my point. Why would you make Jason Todd into an anti-hero? Why make him more of a villain, like he's supposed to be? Before DZ got scouted out of the Red Hood and messed him up badly.
About the only thing we do not get is this character's original name in this run. But he's an interesting character in sort of like some of the ideals that they believe, and also believing by killing. There is one scene that you see in this small arc, and he's next to a tree to which he wants the blood of the martyrs, in this case the martyrs being those that are related to said villains
like
to feed that tree. So
yeah, so basically like Clayface, Joker. Wait, Joker didn't have any kids. So,
no, he didn't.
Yeah, so I don't know why he's going after him. Unless you're going after Joker's daughter, which is not New 52 collision. Oh, if you remember this character from Joker's daughter. Okay, you know what? I need to screenshot this because. Hang on. Can you screenshot this?
Yeah.
Hang on. Let's see. Aha! Found her. It's this character.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this monstrosity. Ugh. One of the worst creator in New 52. This character was garbage. Like, I think White Knight could have killed her because White Knight, when he could kill this abomination, I would have been so happy. Because she keeps showing up in other people's book. She's showing Red and Yellow, which is bad. She's showing Suicide Squad, which is also bad. And she's showing Nightwing for some reason, newest Rick Grayson issue. Do I say? Why? Why can't she keep showing up in every single book? Why won't it go away? There's one individual I want to get killed. Ugh. Wait, why is he in Nightwing doing Rick Grayson crap? Confirm. Can you explain?
Can I explain Joker's daughter?
Yeah.
Well, you know, what's fascinating about Joker's daughter is, isn't it interesting that we have Harley Quinn, we have Joker's daughter, and then we have Punchline. And why is it that Harley Quinn became so popular? Punchline seems to be so popular, and yet nobody really liked Joker's daughter. Joker's daughter, I think, was even killed off, wasn't she?
No, it wasn't. She showed a Nightwing, I remember, in Rick Grayson crap.
Right. I just find her so forgettable. I don't find her to be a very, very appealable character. I don't know. The fact that I don't even know what the hell happened to Joker's daughter kind of tells you how little interest I have in her.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I thought that Joker's daughter in the New 52 was a very poorly conceived character, and I didn't think it worked very well. I thought it was just done for shock value, and I don't think it worked, quite frankly.
It failed.
Yeah, but I don't know. I guess I'd have to go back and reread it. But the whole, her with the whole face thing and the mask, it was just derivative. I think it was trying to duplicate Scott Snyder's, Joker ripping his face off, and it never worked for me. And she was just I think she was just some random chick that was obsessed with the Joker. I mean,
Harley Quinn. Continue.
What's that?
Kind of like Harley Quinn, because Harley Quinn was Seven Joker, and now she was Seven Joker.
That's right. Yeah, and I think her name Dula Dent. I mean, I know the original Joker's daughter was Dula Dent, but I don't even know. I think the New 52 had a different identity as well.
Let's see. 52 daughter. Let's see. Do it then, but appeared and Joker daughter and Batman see the comic book. She can do it. She really do it then. Two-Face's daughter. Wait, what? Wait. Wait. Hang on. Let me search. Wait. That didn't make any sense. Hang on. Let's see. Batman turn it now. Do. Oh shit! It do it didn't. So I wanted to say it's the same backstory, but do it then, and it's the same character, but that didn't make any sense because to be credits. Why did you slam that into New 52? I am so confused. That doesn't make any sense. My brain are exposed. Stupid as it is. Then again, New 52 Judah was garbage in day one. And if it's really the daughter Two-Face, then why the hell Two-Face didn't save his daughter when she went freaking nuts with the Joker? On what the wiki I mean is wrong. But knowing the wiki could be 100% wrong. But you know what? Like, trying to. Continue.
Well, I know she was a member of Titans East too at one time, I guess.
Yeah,
But,
she was.
and I was just not a big fan of the New 52 in general, and so many of those storylines I've intentionally forgotten. I actually have the first appearance of Dula Dent, the Joker's daughter, going back to the Batman Family Giant special. I believe that was issue. I actually have it here. It was issue number. It's not coming up. Issue 9. Issue 9. But anyways, I wish I could show my screen here, but or maybe I can.
Oh, Tom, can you screen share his image?
Yep. All he needs to do is go to the share screen. And approve what he needs to approve to show what he wants to show.
Yep.
I'm not sure.
And it will show up on my end when you get it.
Yeah.
It won't let me share. I don't know what's going on.
Well, try going to share screen on StreamYard. The share screen button.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, this here. Can you see my screen now?
I certainly can. Looks like you got it.
Batman Family.
Now I can see it. Ta-da.
Yeah.
I can see.
That goes back. Batman Family Giant. I actually have that issue. I think I remember reading it. But yeah, she back in the day she was more of a derivative. She looked a lot more like the Joker than she does now. But interesting character. She's ugly though, eh? She's very ugly.
Yeah, you've been too much garbage. I mean, Jesus Christ. Like, this guy is showing everything in books. She's showing Nightwing. She's showing Suicide Squad. Like, why is character destroying every single book? She's a garbage character. And she's showing everything right in the Outlaws. Why? Why can't I just shoot in the face? Because I wanted it dead. Like I was White Knight when he killed this abomination. That was funny. Ooh, new event comic. Who killed Joker's daughter? And the answer is White Knight. I saw your problem for you. Joker's daughter's not dead.
The infantile Justice Warriors would love that.
I think it's more like who killed Joker's daughter? Who cares? Does anybody care? I mean, come on. Anyhow,
yeah, I agree.
About one of the good ideas that sort of like come out for a female Joker is I think it's connecting to the Flashpoint.
Yeah.
Not in the Convergence, but just Flashpoint itself, where you see what happened to Batman's family. I think that's a bit of a better Joker idea, female Joker idea, than say this one.
Agreed.
Yeah, it's on a different timeline, or a different world, if anything to say that.
She is one ugly bitch.
Yeah, I would Harley Quinn kill that Suicide Squad. That would have been funny. The only that would make sense because we Suicide Squad had something to kill off. But no, she's something that scared Suicide Squad. Why? Why can't you destroy every single book? I want it dead. Just killed it. I was already killed up in the Suicide Squad. That would make me so happy. I don't have to deal with it anymore. That dude I can deal with from pre-Flashpoint. We down actually looks cooler. New 52, not so much. Yeah, that's become new Shooter Squad with garbage. I wish
How'd
Harvey
you go
was
with
over
reading
there.
Doctor Tomorrow?
Yeah. And then she showed a Nightwing. That woman into the door and grinding. Oh. Did it cosplay? Why do people cosplay the Abomination? Huh. I do give the cosplay community credit because they're all doing the cosplay. That's one character I would never want to cosplay ever.
I actually it made me realize how much of that New 52 I have forgotten because I've deliberately forgotten it in order to preserve my sanity.
Yeah, same here.
It's sort of like the one good thing about the pandemic is I've forgotten how bad Bendis' Superman is.
Yeah.
About the only thing of Bendis I'm picking up right now, or planning on picking up right now, is just some of his Jinx World titles
Yeah.
through my LCS. If I'm going to stick with anything, it's going to stick to the things of his that I have come to enjoy. It's I can tolerate the Fool's Gold related stuff.
Yeah. I actually don't mind. I actually tolerate his Legion of Superheroes. I actually like that a little bit more because it's in its own kind of separate future, and so I can tolerate it a little bit more because it's way in the future. But I still have issues with it. But I don't know. I mean,
I can't tolerate Bendis too. That book broke me. The Iron Man John Kane, it destroyed my favorite character crap, and they're going to demo in that book as well. And
yeah.
the dialogue is not hilarious. It's like everybody talking over each other. It's a mess. It's too many characters. It's a what the fuck. Like Young Justice.
A crock of fuck. I've never heard that expression before.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah.
Should we move on to the surprise?
Yeah. Let's move on. We'll move on to the surprise.
Seeing that this is a Super Sun stream, we just covered something Robin related to Damien.
Yep.
So I thought, for the surprise, let's cover something John Samuel Kent related.
Ta-da! Conversion. Yep.
Woohoo!
So,
yep.
I thought by surprising the audience, we're going to be covering Convergence issues 1 and 2 of Superman.
Yep. The first opinion of John McShane issue boy. And, okay, backstory Convergence for a second. Okay. back in 20, I read New 52, and when New 52 was looking for your train wreck. Oh, how do you really feel?
Is that to all of us, Ed?
Well, I think Crocafuck sums it up rather well.
Yeah. Oh, indeed. But anyway, back on track. Back in 2015, we added a main event called Convergence. And what Convergence? Okay. Sure, but Convergence with a bigger event that came at DC, and during this time, it was during the New 52, and I New 52 would be what the fuck. Hang on the screen share. Can you screen share? Well, I'm screen share right now. Wait, Wait, that's Convergence. Wait,
yeah, that's a really good picture of it, Tevya, because Convergence, the general story of Convergence was Brainiac had stolen all these various timelines where all these heroes existed in different timelines from different parts of the DC universe history, and Convergence, in particular, the story of the Superman story we're looking at that led to the birth of Jonathan Kent. That was actually the pre-Flashpoint Superman and Lois Lane, and it's their story in terms of how they're interacting. They're trapped in one. They're in one of the timelines that Brainiac has captured, which was that made up the substance of the Convergence event. And
Yep.
the story, the quick summary of the story of Superman Convergence issues 1 and 2 is Superman has to get involved with all the other heroes to defeat Brainiac,
Yep.
while at the same time he's got to worry about Lois, his wife, who is pregnant with their child, and of course he doesn't know if it's going to be a boy or a girl, which is interesting considering he has X-ray vision.
Yep. But we're percent no peeking. Right. And that's adorable.
Exactly. So it was really, it was funny because most people forget that at the time of Convergence, nobody knew that John Kent was going to form part of the mainstream DC universe.
Yep.
It was just an interesting story. It wasn't necessarily something that they were going to build on, but it was it's probably the two most popular issues of that entire Convergence event, which frankly was a disaster.
Yeah.
This was the best thing that came out of Convergence, hands down, that we got John Kent out of it. So it was a happy accident.
Yep. Also, not to mention, with Convergence, the main book itself, Earth 2 characters and Animated 4. No one can do that Earth 2 characters. New characters were all boring, all garbage. And that main book could be cut the fucking end, it could be mess, and with the timeline being coming with mentality because Animated 4, it gave us hope, it gave us love, and it was a great book. Heck, the second time book we got added with the Flash, okay, Wally West, with his kids.
Yeah.
Which is also
And
great after story.
It's Tevya, I like the fact that you brought up the Flash because you mentioned Wally West. Well, it was actually, of course, it was Flashpoint plays a role in this story because it was the Flashpoint Batman that is in issue 2 of Convergence, where Flashpoint Batman actually comes to the aid of Superman and helps and is there. Flashpoint Batman is actually in the same room when Jonathan Kent is born, which is something that it's rather interesting. I think that a lot of people forget that Flashpoint Batman actually plays a key role in the events leading to the birth of Jonathan Kent.
Yep.
Something that Tom King totally forgot on
Exactly.
issue of this.
To be fair, a lot of people forgot about
Yes, we do get to see a very kind side to Flashpoint Batman. And I really like it, even though as short as it is, it gives you a side of his character which really should have been brought into the Tom King run, but it never happened. And in that, he really shot himself, not just in the foot, but also in the head.
This one, literally, because Flashpoint Batman did actually help out a pregnant Lois Lane and Superman to do with their child, which is adorable.
Yep.
And as I brought as we all know, since she was born, Convergence got love comments, which, to be fair, Convergence added for the main. I could forget on that page. 5.1 message.
Yeah.
Some wonderful panels in the issues as well.
Yeah.
Well, the entire issue, there's a huge battle sequence where Superman is battling all the other heroes from the different timelines.
All the Flashpoint heroes.
Brainiac was playing the heroes against each other, and they had to win the fights or they would have their timeline destroyed, essentially. I'm oversimplifying it, but that was it in a nutshell.
Oh, sorry, but what do you mean Brainiac? It's more just Nuka and Telos. Who's Telos?
That, yeah, and that there was also the Warlord, the bad guy that's normally in the Warlord. Telos with it was it was Telos, but it was Brainiac too, wasn't it?
Brainiac and Telos, but then Brainiac got captured in Future's End. Which is another horrible event, which that event killed Batman Beyond for crap. And like I said, Future's End sorry. You know?
Well, I appreciate the corrections because my memory. I think multiversal chaos has influenced my memory, and but But in any event, what I like about it is there's a great scene here where Superman, you can tell, is holding back and he's fighting Shazam, and then he can hear Lois
Captain
crying for
Thunder.
help. He knows Lois is pregnant, obviously, and so he freaks out. And then he easily, once he does that, he easily picks off Shazam, and he easily subdues Shazam, and he basically tells him, people I care about are in danger. Get off me, and I will move heaven and earth alike to keep them safe. And Flashpoint Batman hears him say that, and he knows that there's more to this Superman than just fighting. And of course, it's because he has a wife and an unborn child to protect, and that plays a major role in the Flashpoint Batman. I think realizing that this Superman is actually a good man.
Yep. Also, this Captain Marvel, yeah, this Captain Thunder. Captain Thunder got killed in the Flashpoint universe next to Wonder Woman. Which chronologically, if Flashpoint still happened, then that means in general that whole Flashpoint Wonder Woman stuff never happened. But if that never happened and the time machine exists, but the time exists, then God, my brain's really trying to think about all the timelines. But back on track. 5.2 Superman 5.2 Superman kidnap World Train and put into Batman's Batcave. Which is the big cool. And we see a flashback. Get it? Flashback, yeah. To Flashpoint Superman's pad of a Halo train. Who died in Flashpoint. Oh yeah, I completely forgot about Flashpoint. Flashpoint Superman passed. Halo train actually died. Wow, that is dark.
It's also nice within these issues as well that the Flashpoint Superman makes an appearance too.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, that's right. In fact,
And to
he's
help
the one
out.
who kidnapped Lois.
Yep, he does. With Superman talked to Abin Zer, which Abin Zer says, and I quote, "Your Kryptonian counterpart was confined throughout childhood, never to divide you did. Throughout his life, a very young Old died in his arms. So that's why he took Old which I know you won't try to hurt her. Yep. And Superman had to go to fight with Batman, with Abin Zer showed at the memory of times when Batman passed, with Abin Zer said, and I quote, "A truly tragic story. A doctor whose only child had gone to reform. Bruce. His wife Martha never recovered. When she finally died, she was better than the Joker. Why would he take her to Wayne? He's a doctor. It's going to mean his time." Yep. And Superman had to go to Flashpoint about Cave and kick Superman's ass in one punch. Like, awesome. Yep. This is why I love pre-Batman. Superman, well, pre-52 Superman is more smart than New 52. But New 52 Superman, let's face it, New 52 Superman would be a jerk and a complete a-hole and a complete, like, jerk, idiot. Because, during the time when we had New 52 Superman turning to Doomsday, which, with that event, Superman doomed right into convergence. Why do I have three bad stories that we at the convergence? Like I then New 52 Superman Doom, which is Superman turning Doomsday, which is awful, and then I have Earth 2 Worlds End. 3 events, but all awful. Well, okay, Earth 2 Worlds End wasn't bad with Tom Taylor, but even he couldn't say that is a train wreck. Because that way it's the convergence. But back on track. Please have by Superman basically talked to Tom Gray Batman. And he had to tell about the situation. And Superman had to go after his wife. He said, and I quote, Yeah, well, you know, one things, and we want to have my baby. No, I don't want vision. You're a doctor. You enjoy the baby. No. I haven't since Bruce died. I think you got equipment. Yep. And they had to deal with the baby and Father Baron cave. And Father Baron said, and I quote, "Life is the most precious commodity there is. Whatever you have to do, protect that child." To it. To it, said, "Count it." I'll send his name, that's what I said. Shout out to your father. Baron's not human. Jonathan Kent. Jonathan Kent. Yep. And the issue ends basically in general with father, mother, and the baby boy, John.
That's the end of the second issue, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's the end of the story. And as I mentioned before, conversion the main book is a mess, but the tie-ins were fantastic. Like the tie-ins were amazing. It blew my mind that the tie-in that we have on, but the main book is gonna be cut the fuck. Why couldn't the tie be canon in the main universe? Oh wait, I forgot. I think it'll be a DCU. Which, to be fair, if there's that time, we got this. Ta-da!
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah,
So
it's interesting too. I find it's interesting when we compare the formative origins of Damian Wayne with John Kent. It's interesting that when we first meet Damian Wayne, well, he actually originated in a series written by Mike W. Barr called Son of the Demon.
Yep.
But Damian Wayne was really sort of introduced when we first meet Damian Wayne in Grant Morrison's run. He's already, I think, like 10 or 11 or 13, whatever, maybe 13 years old.
I think 10
And
years old.
we never really see his birth, but we see John Kent's birth. We see, and I think that's very interesting.
Yep. You're right about that 100%. Also, this time was written by Dan Jurgens.
Yes, it was, and a big thanks to what Dan did in bringing that to us.
Yep.
And also Tomasi as well for his work in the previous arc that we tried to cover.
Yeah.
Well, we can always revisit that if we need to.
Yeah.
I have to say, Lee Weeks' art in Convergence #1, Lee Weeks' art is just fantastic. The action is actually better. His art in that is actually better than any of his art in Tom King's Batman run, in my view. It's just he's really at the top of his game, Lee Weeks. It's very, very impressive.
Technically, I think Dan Jurgens wrote the art. We did the cover. Yeah, we did and did the covers. Dan Jurgens wrote it and did the art. Norman Lapman did the ink art. All these people did excellent job of the story.
Yeah.
I give them credit because they remain these two issues fantastic. Because these two issues save the Superman. Because I remember for the New 52 Superman, it was a complete cluster. For New 52 Superman was beyond saving. So you know what? They said, screw it. We can't do New 52 Superman story. We broke New 52 Superman to the point of insanity. So they decided the smart thing and give back our Superman back. We were the right thing to do. Because New 52 Superman, that was useless. They destroyed them. It was a mess. But, so I'm happy. I'll give Convergence credit. The main book, garbage. But the tie-ins are fantastic. But it was thanks to this time that we got John Kent.
I want to brag about this one cover by Lee Weeks. This is from Superman Lois and Clark issue 8. But I actually have 3. I love it. It's just a gorgeous cover.
Yeah.
And this is classic. This is it's just a beautiful cover, and boy, I wish I could imagine how much the original art for this would cost. If I wonder if Lee Weeks would sell that. That would be amazing to own.
Yeah.
Gorgeous.
I love that final. I love that final issue. That final issue might be fantastic. And that all Superman was fantastic because this series, as I mentioned, gave us Baby John Kent. It's a spin-off, to this book, but they already connect to each other. But you don't need to read the main conversion book. You read these two issues for the time at the end of the book, and then go to this book because these two books they pick up each other. So it was thanks to conversion we got the series, and this series was fantastic. And this series so very great and opened the door to my Superman. And
Mhm.
this series does pick like rebirth. Even though it said road to rebirth. But chronologically, this book takes place during the whole Superman Truth arc, which
Yep.
the Superman Truth arc. Yeah, don't say about that book about Superman Truth arc. Don't read it. It's not worth reading. I reviewed both volumes of that series. It's bad. Like the Truth arc was just a mess. It was a clusterfuck. Ugh. And now we have Ben Superman Truth arc, which is somewhat even worse. Why do I keep getting bad stories and good stories anymore? I don't get it. But back to positivity. As I said, Convergent itself not good, but this book and this book are both great. I highly recommend you read both these series because, well, you never have back issues, but these two books are fantastic. Oh, you got the awesome.
Well,
I
you know
got
what?
that cover.
It might be a good idea for next week's stream
Yep.
to cover that particular run.
Yeah, I recommend you do that.
To cover Superman, Lois and Clark.
Yep.
Issues 1 to 8.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Might be a little bit of a longer stream, but
Yeah. Oh wait, speaking of it, we got the Damon Wayne stuff.
we might be able to add that at the end of the. We'll see.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, considering how much time we've got now, this normally goes for about an hour 30. Perhaps we might want to cover it now.
Yeah.
Totally unplanned, but
Yeah. But you know what? Yeah, we don't have better to do. So you know what?
the Convergence, Batman and Robin.
Yep. Which takes place after that Titans issue of Convergence, which the Titan issue after was good in my opinion because that story did bring up Rhiannon Harper. Who's Rhiannon Harper? Rhiannon Harper is the daughter of Roy Harper, and she died in Cry for Justice. Okay, we don't Cry for Justice. Okay, we don't know what that story is. Short version: Prometheus, but he used bomb that blew up at the Star City, and that was the Roy Harper basically turned to Arsenal. He had his arm chopped off. Yeah, don't say about Crime Jetty, but Crime Jetty is an awful story that killed off the all characters. Well, it killed off the Lee Harvey's daughter. And made Green Arrow they killed Prometheus. You hear that story. So, yay. Also in the one minute, justice. Like, justice. Like, all the characters saying justice. I'm not kidding.
I've got no recollection of Batman and Robin Convergence.
All right. The two issues have to deal, of course, with Batman and Robin, but in it there is an appearance of Jason Todd.
Yep. And Poison Ivy, Mr. Freeze.
Yep.
And Black Mask. And Man-Bat.
And one of the things that happens is that there's a little bit of an argument between the present Robin and Red Hood
Yep.
when he makes his appearance. And once that's over, or once the first part's over, Bruce basically pulls Damien aside,
Yeah.
gives him a fair talking to, and then by the time we move into the second issue, they're practically fighting side by side.
Yeah, because I have to tell us the message, which the message is a quote from the main book itself, which says,
Yeah.
Citizens of government, I brought you upon this conveyed upon you. Now at the time, the hour is near. Judgment is here. Only one city shall survive. Only the strong. I in the world. I am terror. I tend to you every need. But now the domes will fall and change must rise. Never have the power among you been more necessary. For you are about to pretend the greater expand of all. Your time is any word dead. I part grant one see a future. Today, your country is in competition, and only one city among many will survive this day. Defending every domain will bow the other, and only the great heroes will live. Defy me, your people will be destroyed. Defend me, your city will be crushed in my hand. Dare to circumvent these conflicts in any way, and citizen of every city pay the price. There's no room for them to common cut among you, no quarter given. Only one city will survive this day, all other worlds will find no dark and pleasure of oblivion.
I think
Yeah.
if I want to also point out another thing about these particular issues, it's also a bonding experience for Damien.
Yep. Also, the main time they fight at the sorry, but the main time they fight at the in the story is the extremists.
Yeah.
Who are the extremists? I don't know who these guys are. I don't tell you, I don't know who these people are. But I still know who the extremists are. Come on, do you know who the extremists are?
Do I know who the extremists are?
Yeah, these guys.
In DC, in the Convergence.
It does sound familiar to me, but that would, boy, that's I would need to have my memory refreshed. Honestly, I can kind of see the image. Can you put the pictures up a little better?
Yeah.
On
Yeah. I'm going to screen share it. Let's see. Extremists.
Oh, Lord Havoc and the Extremists. Yeah, he's on Lord Havoc. He's on another. He's on one of the different Earths of the multiverse, isn't he? He's on Earth 11 or something like that.
I think so. Yeah. Let's
I might have the wrong Earth, but
TG going on top, clear teams. Ugh. Oh yeah, that's from the main book. Ridiculous. Ridiculous because Batman. I don't. Let's see. Where the hell are you? Find him. Yeah. Can you see?
yeah.
Yeah, that's them.
Okay.
Yeah, those are the extremists. Like as I said, I don't know these guys, so I think this was a parody of Marvel. Some reason I don't know. I don't get. But back on track. Basically, Batman and Jason Todd, they all team up to fight the extremists, and they kick this guy's ass. It's pretty awesome. Oh, also doing director with his partner in Scarlet. Who's Scarlet? Scarlet is a character from Grant Morrison and Batman Robin one. It's a
Yes.
Yeah.
Earth 8. I think it's Earth 8. The Extremists with Lord
Yeah, I
Havoc.
think so.
Anyways,
Yeah, I think a lot about that.
Scarlet you don't see in Connection to Red Hood anymore.
No, you don't.
Well, because she was also a victim of Professor Pig.
Yeah, she was. I think she did a Dollartrons and everything. It was just very fucked up and weird, and messed up.
Yes.
Even in Battle Arkham Knight, you see that, and it's just very creepy. Professor Pig, one of the villains that is so messed up. Aw, and Batman gets Dimmer in a hug. That's pretty cute.
No Corona today.
Oh
No,
I
I can't drink alcohol anymore.
yeah. I completely forgot. Near the end of the issue, I completely forgot about this part. Superman after he goes to Batman. I completely forgot what this meaning at the ending.
I'm sorry. What was the ending?
But after they defeat the extremists, Batman gives them a hug. It's adorable. But near the end of the issue, Superman shows up, attacking Batman. Superman says, "quote." Um, they're doing this at Bruce. Despite the circumstances, they might not be brothers, but they're both my sons. Senior at the time looking for a father's Clark. Aww. I was thinking the same thing. Do you think either of us would even be here if we had our fathers? I did have my brother Bruce. I had the man who raised me. I'm sorry your story was different. But the way I am because of him. One complaint, just wondering. The years made us orphans, but we don't have to stay that way. Go be your friend, Bruce. What happens, Clark? Take care of yourself. You too, Bruce. Whatever happens. The end. That's a great ending to a maiden story.
Yeah, that was the Convergence Batman and Robin, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Like, as I said, the Convergence timeline was fantastic, not the Wild West story. But the Batman Robin story is also great. The only bad Convergence time is the Adam one, which is weird, and the Harley Quinn one. The Harley Quinn one is just weird to me. But as I said, the time of Convergence were all fantastic. The only bad one, the Adam one, and I think that's about it. Wild West one fantastic. The Superman one fantastic. The question one was weird. I didn't understand. The question one, I didn't understand that story. What? Correct me if I'm wrong. What wasn't the question another in the Convergence book? Was that when they Montoya? They haven't read that time or no? Wait, Carbon, did you read the question Convergence one?
I did, but if you're, I got all the Convergence issues and I read them all, but I'll be good Lord, I don't remember them. I can't.
Yeah.
Like seriously, I did not like Convergences. I thought all the stories, generally speaking, were terrible. The only one that was any good was the Convergence with John Kent was born. I enjoyed that, but actually the question wasn't bad. The question had Renee Montoya and it had Vic Sage in it, and there were some good character moments between Renee Montoya and Vic Sage in that Convergence issue because she thought he was dead and died from cancer, and it was actually a touching issue.
Yeah, it was Batman and Huntress. We read it with a really fun story, in my opinion. The Justice League America one was kind of weird. It dealt with Baby Zatanna, Supergirl, and someone giving birth, I think. I didn't understand that story at all. It was weird. As I said, Justice League America one did with Flashpoint Aquaman. Like I said, it was a weird other story for Justice League America and the Convergence stuff. Like even I don't understand what they want in that story. Well, like I said, the tiny mind of the converted were good, but the main book was just awful. But I've already covered time. The Flashpoint stuff was fantastic. Superman the Water was fantastic. Um, and those two books right after into that book. It's such the same conversion didn't read the ending after that. The only conversion that we got after conversion was Telos, which is awful. We got the Green Lantern stuff, which is weird, and Superman wasn't Clark, and that's it. But in the conversion led to nothing. Nothing happened. It was all for nothing. So what was the conversion again? That's the deal. You know. We got this. And tell him, what are your thoughts?
To do that one next week?
Well, that and what about converting Batman and Robin?
I did actually enjoy the Convergence Batman and Robin, which I read through, and it was nice to see Damien actually coming to like someone in a brotherly bond. Yeah, adopted or not, either way, he's still a part of his family.
Yeah, that's adorable. And Maggie did want to hug.
Like, look at some of the good things that did come out of it. Many people still enjoy what happened with Bruce Wayne away temporarily. Dick Grayson takes the place of Batman.
Yep.
And here he's working with literally the son of Batman.
Yep.
And helping him stay on a straight and narrow. Also helping him stay positively focused that, yes, they will find good old Daddy.
Yeah, which is great.
And for a situation like that, yeah, he'd need that reassurance.
Yeah. Also, as I said in general, at that story ended with Superman and Batman had to reflect on their fathers, and I think Batman knows that Superman had a child. We are the good continuity, in my opinion. Adorable.
Well, apart from that, what have you been reading this week, or how have you been helping your local comic stores? If you still get anything through them, or
I haven't been to the comic store in days since this quarantine happened. I want to help anywhere I can, but I haven't that open.
Comic Boom?
Yeah, I bought. Well, actually, I talked to my comic shop owner. He's been opening the shop up, but not formally open. But he calls all of his customers, and he's still making money. He's still my comic book retailer is still making bringing in 80% of his income because even though he's not supposed to be open, customers call him and they just show up and he brings it to him curbside. So he's still doing really well. He's got no problem with it. He even got a government subsidy. He's fine. And not only that, what my comic book retailers told me, and he's also a friend of mine as well, what this whole experience has told him is that he can survive without comic books. So he doesn't really care, he doesn't care about Diamond. He doesn't care about DCBS. He's actually a little upset with Diamond, but he's not like angry or anything like that. It's water off a duck's back to him. It's like, okay, well, whatever it is, he'll adjust. Comic books are still going to come back, but if they don't, I mean, look, he's got as a comic book retailer, comic books are only 20% of his business. 80% he sells toys, games, other things as well, and that's more his lifeblood. And he's been in business for 25 years, and he's diversified. He didn't put all his eggs in one basket, so he's not really all that worried if the comic book market fluctuates, he's gonna survive, and that's good to hear. And it just goes to show you that a lot of the comic book retailers out there, if you're a lot of them that are complaining, the ones that are complaining the most are the ones that, frankly, just deal with comic books and likely didn't diversify enough to or have made the right types of plans, or not as creative as others. I'm not saying it's not difficult. Obviously, everyone's shut down. Sooner or later, it's going to affect everyone. I'm just saying that if you can't if you're in a business that you can't stay in business for 2 or 3 months being closed, exactly. So it's not, it's we're all suffering the same thing. All businesses down across the board, but I mean, a rising tide. If everyone sinks and rises at the same time, there shouldn't necessarily be a catastrophic result.
The reason I only brought it actually last week because I'm trying to reopen the country, and I don't want to put politics in this, but this in my opinion is a bad idea, but because you can't reopen the country because we don't have vaccine yet. This could take months or even a year, and that's what worries me more. And
Well, it could, and I know that I guess all three of us, we live in different countries. I'm in Canada, Tevya, you're in the U.S., and Telium, you're New Zealand.
In Australia.
So,
yeah,
No, in Australia,
Australia.
not New Zealand.
right. So we all come at this from different perspectives. I'd be curious, Tehillim, in Australia, how is the comic book market there right now?
At the moment, a number of the comic book stores finding ways of sort of like using online shopping, and also if you use Facebook, you're able to contact them through Facebook to arrange an order to be sent out to you. Of course, I've made arrangements to get some Justice League titles, the Scott Snyder ones, just to read through it, mainly for the Jorge Jimenez art, but
awesome.
and any appearances of our favorite Super Sons that are in it. That's the only reason why I've sort of like chosen to pick it up. Yeah, not quite the way I expected to pick it up, but I'm waiting for that in the mail through another comic book store down here in Australia. I've worked on getting, the trade paperbacks in relation to, say, the Death of Superman event.
Oh yeah, I've been only omnibus of that event. That book is huge, and that omnibus is heavy, really heavy.
So I'm waiting for those trades to turn up.
Yeah. Well, that's good. I mean, at least you're. Yeah.
Plus a parcel in relation to my pets that I look after, and that's been stressing me out a little bit, considering the delays that they've been having. But I guess you got to do what you got to do, and
yeah. Well, I'm glad everyone's getting by. It looks like we're all plugging away at it, and it is what it is.
Oh, sorry. I've been trying this and putting more personified oil.
I should also be getting up another review soon on my channel, but it's around 3 volumes of Umbrella Academy.
Nice.
Which will be covered in one video.
Speaking of videos, Comic's gone.
No, sorry.
He'll be back. He's like Batman, remember?
I just put my comics away. I'm out of the view there, but
Yeah. Oh, speaking of review comic, I did review at the Bomb 7. If you want to check out, that will be on my channel.
Okay, I don't actually play video games. I don't own an Xbox or a PS4. I don't own it. I've never, in my entire life, I've played video games maybe only a handful of times. So I'm really behind the times on that. but maybe one day I'll start. I actually gave my Xbox, I gave my Xbox One away to my nephew. I gave it away to him. So
Nice.
I know that's sacrilegious. I know, but
Well,
honestly, I remember I played the video game Superman Returns, and I
oh
remember
yeah, I remember that
I
game.
remember Marv. I remember Marv Wolfman. He was an advisor in that game, and I could never get. It turned me away from video games because I could never get by the first level. I literally
Yeah.
I probably spent 6 hours. I couldn't get by the first level. I was that terrible at it. And
On the first level to when it's not long after you've returned to Earth and you
When you
basically
play Mongo, basically.
asteroids and that hitting Earth.
yeah. Anyway, my
I
point
played
is,
the game, I finished it.
Well,
I just say that to illustrate for you guys my incompetence when it comes to video games. I'm not very good at it, and I find them to be extremely difficult to play. I'm not good at it. I guess I lack the coordination or the patience, but I cannot sit more than a couple hours on one level. I don't find that to be enjoyable at all. I much rather watch other people play, like Tevya. I've watched you a couple times on your channel play. I'd much rather watch somebody who knows what they're doing play than do it myself. I just don't get much
Yeah.
enjoyment out of it.
I can understand that. Really. I do. Right. That happened to me when I just said, you know what, screw it. I just looked up, walked through, giving the answer. I just said, look it up and give it the answer. Because at some point I can solve by myself. Good. But no, I'm not gonna do this crap. Done. Well, as for me in general, I've been trying to keep myself sane. I got a haircut, and then that's my family. So yeah, that's where I got my weird haircut because my hair was growing like crazy. So that's cut off.
I actually cut my own hair, and
Nice.
this is why I wear a cap, because I cut my own hair.
Nice.
I can't show it off. I actually screwed up the back of my head. It's all
Yeah.
crooked, so I got to wear a cap so nobody can see how badly.
I'm sure it'll grow back. Yeah.
Well, we're starting to approach the end of the stream. Thanks for showing up, Tevya, and also Comic Boom.
Thank you, guys.
Oh, Carbon, continue.
Yep.
So if you want to show yourselves. And let them know what you're doing next week. You know, we'll have our next stream next week, probably around the same time. I hope you all stay safe and healthy.
Yeah.
Yep.
To everyone.
Oh.
Stay safe. Stay sober. Well, not sober. Get drunk.
Yeah.
Where's the fun in that? I'm all by myself with the wife and kids. I gotta get drunk.
Whoa. Yeah. Yeah. Yesterday was my brother's birthday. So again, I birthday to my brother Abby. It was my birthday yesterday. So, but after what's over my channel, well,
It was his birthday. Well, I didn't know that.
I'm going to be actually getting my playthrough episode 5. I'm going to watching just more out there on my channel because I love episode 5. I love my warrior, and this game's been awesome. And I'm hoping that if I can beat this game, hopefully later this week if possible. I will do my review of 7. If you want to check out my review of this game, and a little warning though. This game does end basically on a major cliffhanger. So if you're not playing with the 597, I actually recommend you play original or play this remake to be fantastic. But this game does end at the cliffhanger. So if you're going to full remake, I do it the entire game. Yeah. It's being covered only the Midgard section. So,
All right, you take care too, Ed, bro. It's nice to see you make it to our streams.
yep, you take it too, bro. Yep. I've to go review. Maybe I'll probably do a review video compared to Flashpoint because I checked out my overview of this book, and yeah, my overview right now is great. So maybe I'll probably review this series again. Well, not the main book. The main book, I'm gonna skip that main book. The main book, I will give a review of that train wreck. But after any ads on my channel, I'm gonna continue my play Persona 5. Maybe I'll do a review of Spider-Girl stuff because I wrote maybe Parker. For topic videos, I'll finish on it. Maybe I'll do another topic video on Superman Family or maybe the Flash Family. Actually, that's not a bad idea. Maybe I'll do a topic with Flash Family. But that's all I got.
All right, and this is to Healing 29. Of course, you're already on the channel, so and we'll be back for our next live stream next week around the same time with our Fortress of Attitude.
Yep,
That's right.
As we will cover the Road to Rebirth, which is what Tevya is showing right now.
Yep. Yeah.
Lois and Clark.
Mm-hmm. The India German issue went in the main DC universe. Yep.
And we look forward to sharing that with the viewers. Thanks heaps to all who made it. Of course, you'll see it in the banner down below.
See you later, guys.
Bye.
Until then, take care.